This is Susan Bassi, and this is a video about code enforcement. And we've had some difficulties getting this video published and keeping it published, but we're going to try again one more time because it's just that important. We compared code enforcement activities in two different counties, Sonoma and Santa Clara County. And Santa Clara County has been in the news a great deal lately because it has been seeing some exorbitant fines and fees being applied against the Cavalry Church, which has been covered by mainstream media, and the Cavalry Church had to pay $1.2 million after code enforcement found them not complying with local ordinances related to Mass during the 2020 closures of churches, and also coverage by the Institute of Justice on social media related to a winery that is being fined $1,000 a day because one of their winery workers lives on the property and sends his children to the Saratoga School District. But we're going to also focus on the employees who work for code enforcement, including a former Santa Clara police officer who was convicted of running a chop shop, and after taking a felony plea deal, he was hired by Santa Clara County government in code enforcement. And we're going to show you how mainstream media covered his arrest and prosecution and hiring with the county, and how we cover it here on social media.
Officer Green was booked here on charges of operating a chop shop, also receiving stolen property and possessing stolen property. If he's convicted, he faces more than 5 years in prison.
4 Chevrolet Camaro engines were recovered at a small San Jose garage associated with the suspect, Tyson Green.
Authorities also found more than a dozen car computers. The parts are worth $75,000.
Legacy media is known to report on the arrests of police officers and the possible prison time they face, but rarely do they ever do any follow-up reporting to let us know what happened to the police officer after he was arrested, especially if that police officer got special treatment. Tyson Green never spent any time in prison. He accepted a plea deal and was a convicted felon, and shortly thereafter, he was hired by the Santa Clara County government to work in code enforcement. When we began to get a number of complaints about this, we reported about that on social media, and the government then used their PR individuals to claim that our reporting was false. And only when there was some backlash from our supporters did the government make an apology and admit that they had hired a convicted felon and former police officer to work in code enforcement where the complaints were racking up.
Anytime we have a person from law enforcement who we've entrusted, the public has entrusted to protect, serve, it's incredibly disappointing to see an individual from that community let the community as a whole down.
Hi, are you Tyra?
Tira.
Tira, hi. My name's Susan, and I'm doing a little story about code enforcement. And I'm covering the case where it sounds
You're
like...
a reporter for who?
I'm an independent. I write for the Davis Vanguard, and I report online. I have various platforms. So depending on, I don't know how I'm going to use this yet. I was here on another issue, and there was someone where you went out for code enforcement on a property, and I'm trying to follow the process of how somebody could have liens placed on their home, put in receivership, and everything else. And so I understand that you were in charge of code enforcement.
I am in charge of code enforcement.
And that you directly did one of your investigations.
I have staff, code enforcement inspectors that go out and do inspections, yes.
So the one that I'm investigating, you did it yourself. You didn't have inspectors.
I don't go out in the field typically, so I don't know what information you're getting, but that doesn't sound correct.
This is the photograph allegedly taken of Miss Harrington out on a property doing the very inspections that she claims she didn't do. And this is also a reminder to not just always record the police, but always record the government, even when the government comes in the form of code enforcement to your property.
Manager, I don't typically go out in the field.
Okay. And is the county using drones now for their code enforcement?
Well, what I'm going to do, since you are claiming to be a reporter, would be to get a card from you, and then we have people that do our press relations, and they'd have to speak with them. I don't typically talk to reporters. We have county...
That's fine. I don't have a card, but I can give you my information.
Okay, maybe if she could write... ladies, could you write her information down for me, and I can give it to our public relations people, and they can reach out to you. Again, we have, people especially do that.
Miss Harrington didn't exactly answer my question about drone camera footage, and we've been receiving complaints dating back to 2017 that some of our reporter sources have been working on. We've been receiving complaints about how Sonoma County was using drone camera footage, but also about how Santa Clara County, where Tyson Green works in code enforcement, has been using drone camera footage as well. And we know from this video that we got from the Los Gatos Police Department in Santa Clara County that drone camera footage can be made available through a public records request. And more recently, we learned that the ring camera footage outside the county council's office in Sonoma County was also a matter of public record. So as we consider the government recording us in our homes with drones, in our business at the local government on ring cameras, or on body cams worn by police officers, we have to start considering how we get those records that are created with taxpayer dollars and how we record the government back. Because the First Amendment doesn't just intend on the government recording us, it allows for us to record the government right back.
Is that a drone?
Yeah.
It's got a camera on it?
Yeah.
You film it?
Yeah, we record it.
I'm going to do a public records request and get that film.
Whether it's old-fashioned film or modern-day video that is electronically stored, when the government incurs an expense in order to create video camera footage, the public has a right to see that footage, and that includes recordings from police body cams, this drone footage that we got from a public records request to the Los Gatos Police Department, which sits in the heart of Santa Clara County, or the ring camera footage that we know exists from County Council in Sonoma. The public has a right to see those records. And as more and more of those records get electronically stored, we need to continue to fight for them. And we also need to continue to fight for the public right to see the recordings made of public court proceedings, proceedings that are documented by recordings on Microsoft Teams and on Zoom, that so far the judges working inside the courts have not wanted the public to be able to see or use.
Okay?
Well, thank you so much.
Okay, my name is Susan, S-U-S-A-N, Bassi, B-A-S-S-I, and my cell phone number is 8, and my email is Gil.
And do you have an address, which case you're referring to that?
I have to pull it all. I was here on another issue and this story just kind of came up. And so I don't know if I'm even going to do anything about it, but I thought I would ask.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want the
Let
ERA
me,
person?
do you have a business card?
Yeah, she can get you
Okay.
one for me.
Yeah, I'm going to do a public records request.
Okay.
And so from there, it may be a story and it may not.
Okay.
So we'll find out.
Okay, so I pay through him, so I go twice, I come in here, and I try to get a refund.
Okay, great. Thank you
Great,
very
thank
much.
you.
Okay,
Yeah, let us know.
I'm going to take a picture of it.
My training and experience.
Chop saw mama.
So if I can learn to operate the equipment you might find in a chop shop in order to do this reporting, certainly everybody else can pick up their cameras and record the government. And that means recording police who might come to your door to ask you about a social media post, or code enforcement who might come to your door to ask you about the drone camera footage that they created when they flew that drone over your house. So when code enforcement comes to your door, what do you say?
Would you please, just a minute? You can't come on the property, you have to talk to my attorney.
That's right.
Yeah.